What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. And this one we got former Prime Minister Tony Abbott talking about everything wrong with Australia in 5 minutes. Let's hear what this man's got to say before we jump in. If you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let's see what we got.
Can I preface what I'm about to say, John, by urging people who are normally supporters of the Liberal Party or the National Party not to lose heart? Things can change very quickly in public life, and we only have to think back to the Voice campaign scarcely 18 months back, when it was Anthony Albanese and the Labor Party that were regarded as having failed monumentally and shown themselves to be monumentally out of touch. You might remember back in 2004, John Howard won 87 seats on the strength of something like 46% of the primary vote. People thought Labor were out of power for a generation, and within 3 years they were back. So I do want to preface what I'm about to say.
So it's like anything can happen. Life, like you don't know what's gonna come up, and things, especially in this world, shift at a moment's notice. So it's like he's the liberals and it, like don't lose heart. Like you never know when momentum gonna shift back to y'all. Right now, Labor Party's in. Labor Party's won the seats. They won by a pretty good margin, I think. He said, but I mean, once upon a time, they were in that same position when people thought they failed monumentally. Now look where they are. So,
by encouraging people to be of good heart, even in this rather dispiriting time. You're absolutely right. This election was so winnable. At Christmas time, people had concluded that the government didn't deserve to be re-elected. We were ahead in just about all of the polls. What happened was that we failed to make a sustained case against the government. And in the end, the more they saw of us, the more they concluded that we weren't ourselves ready to govern. There are two questions that I think people ask going into an election. The first is, does the government deserve to be re-elected? And if the answer is no, they then ask a second question, is the opposition ready to govern?
And do you guys, just before it continues, do you guys feel like you see it the same way in the sense of, first of all, they didn't they didn't do a sustained campaign against the government, and that most people were feeling like the more they saw of them, that they weren't actually ready to govern. Do you guys think that's kind of how Australia saw it, or something else?
At the end of last year, they had well and truly marked down the government, but then we weren't able to persuade them that we were ready. And the longer the terrible campaign lasted, the more unready we seemed. And I can go into it if you like, but I mean, there was that thought bubble policy to get the public service back into the office. The Labor Party successfully portrayed that as an attack on everyone working from home, and so we reversed it. We said we were going to have a policy on revising the curriculum to make it about education, not indoctrination. In the end, we didn't do it. We never had an immigration policy, even though we'd frequently said that we thought immigration should be cut. In the end, we didn't even have a comprehensive energy policy. We announced a gas reservation before we had the modelling to show what the impact on prices might be. So while I have enormous respect...
Dude, they just... Yeah, it sounds like you can't... They were doing half the work without thinking like, all right, what if we do this? We need the information on this. We need the stats on this, because we can't just come out and have these proposals or have these ideas without, because people are going to have questions about these ideas. And it sounds like they didn't have all the answers to the questions that were going to come up. So yeah, I feel like when you got an idea or proposal, You got to sit around and think of everything that could be wrong with that proposal, all the questions that could come up from that proposal or idea, and you got to be able to, I guess, quiet people's concerns.
For Peter Dutton as a human being, and while you've got to give him credit for getting us into a remarkably competitive position a few months ago, we completely blew it. We let ourselves down, but even worse, we let the country down. And that's to our shame, and it's obviously to, I guess, it's to the damage of our country.
Let's then just shape up why the Australian people were not convinced that the Albanese government should be returned. We've got to remember that if you take into account the fact that a lot of people didn't vote at all, fewer than one Australians out of three voted for this government for good reason. We have the fastest collapsing living standards in the OECD. The
Correct.
OECD is the rich man's club, 35 countries. Australia's one of them. We're the
We had
11th or 12th.
2 years in succession of declining GDP per head, an out-of-control immigration program, a society that's becoming more fractured.
A genuine cost of living crisis. Genuine. It's not made up. It's very real. We know from the research now that the more renewables in the system, the greater the impact of the reduction in our wealth. That's a fact. It hasn't proven to be cheaper. The more renewables we've put into the system, the graphs are there, the higher electricity prices have been.
Oh, wow.
And that alone is a large part of the cost of living. Wasn't drawn out, but it is. We have declining productivity. Most other countries, even countries like ours that are in a bit of economic trouble, have improving productivity. We have stubbornly high inflation because the government is spending more of our money than ever. Our tax system is the most dependent on personal taxation of any country in the world except for Denmark. This is an almighty mess internally. Externally, we're now back to the horrendous model of great power competition that plunged the world into darkness at the beginning of the 20th century. And we're sitting here like sitting ducks, in contrast to our forebears who, when they saw a challenge, stepped up. No wonder many Australians are feeling pretty bad about their country, let alone the government, Tony.
So what do y'all think in the comment section? Y'all talk to me. Do you guys think they kind of nailed down everything that's wrong with Australia? Do you guys think that the government, the Labor government that won, will send Australia into more of a decline? Or do you guys disagree with the statements that were made in this video? I don't know about Australian politics, so y'all here to educate me in the comment section. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, get a bit of thumbs up, check out the next. I'll see y'all next time.